Well, I've got Mark Gatter with me. Good morning, Mark.
Cool.
We're having a chat about polytunnels, why to use polytunnels over greenhouses. And I had a greenhouse that about 3 seasons ago, the wind was that bad that it blew a full plane of glass up a tree. And I didn't know where it had gone, and it stayed there for the whole of the summer. Frightened me to death when next door's children were playing underneath it.
Oh, yes.
Because they didn't see. So,
Yes.
why polytunnels?
Well, for me, the big thing is polytunnels are usually much bigger than greenhouses, so they hold the heat better. And that means you can grow food in them all year round, which is what I do. And in a greenhouse, that's very difficult to do, but in a polytunnel, you actually can. January of 2010, outside, all I had were parsnips, kale, a few leeks. In the polytunnel, I had 5 kinds of lettuce, 3 kinds of pak choi, rocket, radish, turnips, beets, you name it. It was all coming out of the polytunnel, even at minus 18 degrees. So that's why I use a polytunnel.
My greenhouse, and I'm not ashamed of this really, but my greenhouse cost me £1,000. And it was only not much bigger than a 6x8 jobby. It was,
there you go.
It was very, very nice, but it wasn't that big. When I got a polytunnel, it's a completely different story altogether. They're much more economical per foot, I imagine.
Far more. You can get a much, much bigger polytunnel than you could buy a greenhouse. So
For the
it's
money.
much better.
Yeah. I really worried about, well, my greenhouse is like solid. It's rock solid.
Oh,
and
yes.
I thought, well, is our polytunnel going to blow away?
Well, I get 80-mile-an-hour winds whistling through my field in Wales several times a year, and the polytunnel is absolutely sturdy and solid. And some people think, oh, plastic can't possibly be that strong. It is. It's really tough. So no problem at all.
What about maintenance of this thing? I mean, how do you look after it?
Well, I wash the cover down a couple of times a year. That makes sure I've got enough light coming through so that everything's happy underneath. And then you just have to take care of how you're planting and where you're planting to make sure you don't get pests in there, because they can be either in a greenhouse or a polytunnel. Once they're in there, you've got a problem getting rid of them. So you just never let them in.
Now, what I found in growing my tunnel, because it's too big for all the things that I need, is that I can separate bits off and grow things in different areas. And I don't know how you grow in yours. I have little bits of crops in little bits of places.
Yes, that's kind of what I do. I've got a 3-year crop rotation going.
Right.
So I never grow the same thing in the same place twice. That way you cut down on pests and everything stays nice and healthy. And any tall stuff, I'll put that on the north side of the tunnel, so it doesn't shade the stuff in the south.
Sure.
Otherwise, you know, lettuce can go in anywhere, radish can go in anywhere. It's a little bit of a mishmash, but it's great and I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. In these days where everybody's thinking about growing their own and saving money because of the credit crunch, polytunnel is an ideal thing to help you grow right through the year.
Even with a small tunnel, you can be self-sufficient with vegetables.
Yeah.
And especially in the winter in the Hungry Gap, it's fantastic.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.